Once again, I want to go back to Dario's deceptions when he tries to answer my video dealing with the fatal mistakes of the Seventh-day Adventist. This is part 2 I'm putting up dealing with this. I want you to look at his statement again, though, where he's talking about the Day of Atonement on October 22nd of 1844. And what you're getting ready to look at and see is a Jewish calendar that shows that the Day of Atonement in 1844 did not fall on October the 22nd. It fell on September 23rd, 1844. And since the Day of Atonement fell on September 23rd of 1844 instead of October 22nd, they couldn't very well back up to a date that had already passed. So now they're stuck with another dilemma. Not only must they accept what Ellen White says, and she points this out in the Great Controversy. In fact, she mentions in the Great Controversy October 22nd of 1844. So now they've got to cover her lies again and somehow try to deceive people and invent something that might show that the Day of Atonement in October in 1844 did fall on October the 22nd, when in fact they couldn't find anything. They came up with some weird idea about the Crete Jews having their Day of Atonement on October the 22nd of 1844. There was this person named E.S. Ballinger who actually had the sense to find out about this date, so they wrote this rabbi down in Cairo, Egypt, by the name of Ibrahim Marzork, and he replied to them about this. Here's what he says, and I quote, "As to the date of the Passover and Yom Kippur, they are following according to the Crete Jews in the year 1843. The Yom Kippur is on Wednesday, the 4th of October, and the same date according to the rabbinicals, in which they use the rabbinical years," he says, "in the year 1844, it is on Monday, the 23rd of September, for the Crete and the rabbinicals," end quote. So there you have a Jewish person down in Cairo, Egypt, letting them know that's not the case. The Day of Atonement did not fall on October 22nd of 1844, as you say these so-called Crete Jews said. And here's a person who is a Jewish person who showed them the correct way, that it fell on September the 23rd of 1844, and not October the 22nd of 1844. But that's an invention by the Seventh-day Adventists to cover the false prophecies of Ellen White. Like I said earlier, the day of September 23rd had already passed, and they couldn't very well back up to another date that had already passed and say, well, no, he's supposed to have came back then. And remember, again, this is what Ellen White is saying. She used the date of October 22nd of 1844, predicting the return of Christ herself in the Great Controversy. So Dario, don't give me this stuff, and apparently you haven't read any of this. Apparently you've never read any of Ellen White's writings, have you? You're just parroting what other Seventh-day Adventist people tell you to say. You haven't gone back and read any of this stuff, or you would have known full well yourself that Ellen White in the Great Controversy predicted the return of Christ when she herself came up with the date of October 22nd of 1844 and presented that date to others as the return of Christ as well. Then you talked again about everybody accepting that date and expecting Jesus' return. Apparently you haven't read Spiritual Gifts, page 133 through 137, where some of the pastors said they would preach the second coming, but they would not accept date setting, though. So apparently, Dario, everyone didn't agree with it, did they? Like you try to mislead people to believe. Yeah, some of them said they would preach it, but they didn't accept the date. They're rejecting it. So once again, it's just more deception by the Seventh-day Adventist to protect the false prophetess who didn't know what she was talking about, date setting, predicting the coming of Christ 3 or 4 times herself. And so there you have an entire denomination built upon the false prophecies of Ellen White, who have been lying since the inception of Seventh-day Adventists just to protect what she said, and interpreting the Bible but what she said, and not interpreting the Bible according to the Bible. So that's pretty much it. You know, he's just shoots himself in the foot. You know, he had a chance to debate me on this, remember, and refused. So he just pretty much shoots himself in the foot And but I'm glad he does this though, because I want people to see his videos. And you think that I was, so to speak, lying about the Seventh-day Adventists predicting the second coming of Christ and about the sanctuary and so forth. He has it right there in his video for everyone to see. The foolishness and the heretic teachings of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Until next time, this has been Godly saying, God bless.